Hi guys, as many of you know, Christmas is coming and I am working on a tutorial and free files for these beautiful snowflake ornaments. In this tutorial, I'll teach you how to make the ornament and weld the snowflake to the frame. I'll teach you how to split it in a few different versions. I'll teach you how to split it in the middle and also how to weld text in between and make this little gap. And I'll also make a little bagger that you can place on the back. I'll also teach you how to weld text, which you could layer on top of your ornaments. All these files will be available for free, and I have a big announcement coming up, so if you want to hear that, make sure you stick to the end. But let's start with the tutorial and how to design all these ornaments in Lightburn. We are now in Lightburn, and this is the file that I just showed you. This is the one that will be available for free. You'll be able to find the link in the description, also in the announcement that I'll have in the end. But let's show you how to create these. So the first thing you want to do, because this is set to filled view style, is to go to the window, and click on wireframe smooth. This will make it look like this instead of being filled, and it's a lot easier to design when you are in this mode. So you want to make a snowflake. If you don't know how to make a snowflake, I have a tutorial on that. You can find it linked up here, I hope. Otherwise, you can find it in the description as well. The reason that I want you to make your own snowflakes is not that I'm against tracing Google designs, but you want these to be not too thick and not too thin. So this one, as example, is, if I remember correct, is 3 millimeter in width, which is 0.1 inches. The size on my snowflake is adjusted so it will fit inside my ornament. So this snowflake is around 3 inches, around 8 centimeters. I want my ornament to be 9 centimeters round. So what I'll do is to create an ellipse. If I hold down my shift key, I can make it perfectly round. Oops. So I'll do just that, and I'll set the size. Make sure your aspect ratio is locked. So I'll set this to 9 centimeters, 90 millimeters. That's around 3.5 inches. Once I have this size, I will go to offset shapes, and I'll make a inward offset. I like to keep mine around, this one I kept around 5, but I sometimes make 3 as well. So let's make it like I made the others so you can see exactly how I did. I want it to be round inwards, and I'll just hit OK. Now I actually have the frame which I will weld my snowflake to. But as I've said in so many other of my tutorials, if you can hold everything or mark everything and hit this little bullseye, then you'll know that everything is perfectly centered. And as I've said a couple of times, I like to always duplicate. So in case I do something wrong, I always have a rescue file to get back to. But now I actually have the base of my ornament. So I'll make a little hanger hole, and I like to keep mine at 5 millimeters. This hole I want to take down a little closer to the edge, and I'll align these two V-center. Now that I have my hole, I want to make an offset on that, but this time it's outward. So 5 would look silly, so I'll make mine at 3, which I usually like. But it's up to you how big or small you want it to be. So I could weld this hanger to the frame now, but I actually want to decorate it just a little bit more. So I'll take my rectangle tool over here and I'll just make a rectangle. I want my corners to be rounded. So an easy way to do that is to hold down your control key and then this little purple dot will appear. If you move your mouse, you can round the edge. I maybe want it to be a little wider, and I think this will do. So now I am going to take everything and I will align it V-center. So now everything is centered. Again, since I like to always have a work file to get back to, I'll copy paste. And now I can take this hanger, I can weld the square and the round together. So I'll just hit weld all shapes together like this. And I can now weld it to the outer frame here. I can take my snowflake and I can weld it to this, but if you saw what just happened, this is actually something that I like to do. If you go to Tools, there's this Boolean Assist. You can click on it through this, or you can use the short keys, Control B, Command B if you're on a Mac. So now this little assistant turns up. You can now hover your mouse over all the options and you can find the one that you need without having to make a mistake and return. So in this case, it's subtract A to B. So I'll click this and hit OK. So let's take this one, copy, and paste it over here. And besides the hanger, it does look a little different. You can see that I actually made this first one. So if I grab the outer ring and the hole here and copy it, I use hotkeys for this, but yeah. And then I can paste it up here. I now have a bagger as well. I will group them, Control G or right click and hit group. And that's the basic. So now that we have the basic ornament, I'll teach you how to make these two. This one is a solid piece for engraving. This one is for attaching text. I'll also show you how to attach text like these. So this one is the one with the attached text. But let's show you here. So I now have my basic, I now have my snowflake. So I'll take my snowflake version, I will right click and duplicate, and I'll just move it over here with my arrow keys. Now I want to take a rectangle, and since I want it in the middle, and this is actually why I sometimes keep some of my elements, so I actually think I will grab this one instead, where it hasn't been welded yet. So I'll just lose these. And I'll weld the hanger together, weld it to this one. Oops. like that. And I'll just delete the snowflake, I don't need it. But what I do need is this inner ring, because that way I can align the rectangle that I just drew. So now that it's snapped on, I can delete this additional extra frame outside here. So let's copy and paste it so I have this for next time. So now I can take this rectangle, I'll make it a little smaller, and I can use this inner ring that I just took, and I can place this in the center. So now I know that my square here will be perfectly centered in the ornament. I actually think I want to make it a little more narrow. So I'll maybe be around here. I'll again make sure that it is in the middle. And this time I'm also going to copy paste, because I will show you how to make the open gap afterwards. But now that it is where it's supposed to be, I can go ahead and delete this additional round circle. And then I will choose the rectangle, I'll choose the ornament, and I'll hit Control B, which brings up my Boolean assist. So let's see if any of these will work. I have to make my rectangle smaller. Let's just move the ends inside here. And let's try again. So Control B. And it's the union A or B in this example. Do I have an additional hole up here maybe? Yeah, I did. But now I created the one that is intended for engraving a text. So let's move that up here. And let's show you how to make this one for the inside text. So I'll take this one that I had before, and this time, because I don't want this open space to be too big, so I'll actually type out a name first. So let's take Mortensen again, which is my name. I'm just using the font Arial, but you can use any. So I have to make it a little smaller, just to give you an idea on how thick you want this space to be. So this around here would be nice. So let's make this a little smaller. Maybe here. I'll just make it a little skinnier here as well. And the great thing about the text, once you are going to weld this in, is that even though, let's make it bold first, you can use this H space up here, and you can actually move the letters closer, like that. That way you can make your text a little bigger if you want. And there's also the possibility of stretching it just a little bit. So don't be 100% fixed on the font size, because you can manipulate the font as well. But let's build the frame. So I now have the space here that I want to be open, but I need something to weld the text to. So I want to make a offset again, and this time it is an outward offset. It doesn't matter if you choose round or corner or whatever, because you will weld this. but I think I'll keep mine at 1 millimeter, like that. So this is the part that I am going to weld to the frame, but I actually want this inner part to have a rounded corner. So since I already have this round that I use to align it, I can use that one, and I can click the inner round here, or the inner square. I can take my Boolean assist and I can subtract it till I have this oval shape. I hope this makes sense because it is a little difficult to show you without. It's hard to simplify this process. But I will click A to B and I'll just move it over here so you can see that it actually just gave me this inner part that I need. Move it back. And now I can take this outer frame and again I can hit Ctrl B to see which type of welding I need. In this case it's the Union AB. So now I actually have the ornament that is supposed to hold my text. So let's group this one and I'll copy paste so I still have the blank. And this is the name that I created, but you could type in a new one if you want, another one, and you can make these smaller, you can make them wider. Yeah, but you also have the options to decide on your own how big or small you want this inner frame to be. I hope this one makes sense because it is a little hard to explain. So now that I have it, I just ungroup the ornament and I will make sure that this is in the middle. Now that I have my text in the middle of this inner part, I'll again take my Boolean assist and I'll hover over the options, and this one wants to subtract A to B. So now I actually have somewhat the same ornament as I made here. So the last thing was these two with the base down here. You could also swap it around, so the snowflake is down here and the solid piece is on top. Also, you can make them as big or as small as you want. So let's show you how to do that. And this is a little easier because you just grab your basic snowflake, copy and paste. And now that you have this, I actually do recommend that you go to Window again and choose the Filled Smooth. So this one will be filled. You have to set it to fill over here. If it's a line, it will only show a line. But as soon as you set it to fill, it will make solid colors. And now you can take a rectangle, draw it over here, and it will give you kind of a visual of how it will look like. So if I want this to be somewhere in the middle of my snowflake, I would keep it around here. Let's copy this before I proceed. So copy and paste. But I could also choose to move it down a little if I want more details to show. So maybe we should keep it around here. Little up top because I'm not worried that this will cut off. So now that you have these and you have an idea on where you want them, you can go back and change the views down to wireframe smooth. And now I do recommend that you ungroup your ornament because that way you can just pick the inner part, choose the outer part, hit Control B or the Boolean assist, and you can see this is where you could do it with the top. I could show you both. Yeah. But depending if you take A to B or B to H, you can decide if you want your text to go on the top of your ornament or in the bottom. Let's take this one in the bottom as I did before. Group this, so now this one is done. And again, I'll ungroup here, so it's only the inner part. I could do both, but then I would have to resize my rectangle. So it's easier this way. So again, I'll just hover over and find the right combination, which is this one, and hit OK. And that's pretty much it. So now I just showed you how to make the 6 same ornaments as I showed you before. The last thing I wanted to show you is how to weld text together, which is really easy as well. So you grab your text tool over here and let's just do the Merry Christmas. So I'll click Merry or type in Merry, and then I'll actually write Christmas in a separate word. Christmas. I will move these a little closer and I could align them V-center, then they will be on top of each other. I'll just move it just a tiny bit down. And I actually think I want to do another font for this one. But again, you can do this with any type of fonts. This one is actually pretty cute. I just think it will be a bit too skinny. Let's see. This one is cute. So I want to reset this one to 0, my H space. And also I will remove bold on these, because bold is not a good option when it comes to this cursive text. But now I do have an idea on how this will look like once I weld it. But I will copy and paste again in case I want to try out a different font or something like that. So now that I have this, I can just go ahead and weld it together. If I cut this as is, copy paste over here. So I have to see if it is the right size, and it is. But if I were to cut this like this, you could see that the dot of the eye would come off. Also the front here, or the wings over here, will be way too fragile. So I need to make an offset on this to make it work. So I will ungroup everything here, and then I'll just click this outer frame and also this inner part. So now you might see how it will only make an offset on the outer shapes. I do have a few more here. So I will go in, and click the offset. I usually make offsets for text at around 0.2. I want to click off this outer shape. So now you can see that it will make my curves here bigger. I actually think I want to do it on the entire text. It's because sometimes if you do this, you might lose some of the inner details, because it will also make these tiny parts inside the S and the E smaller as well. But I think this will work. So I usually do an offset at 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 when it comes to text. But you will have to try different things out. Sometimes I cut my text and then I realize that it is too fragile, and then I go back and do the text again, which is why I always keep my work files. But let's say that this is probably good enough. I do want to delete the original objects, and now I have my text. The eye, however, or the dot to the eye, however, is still not attached. So I want to move this just a tiny bit down, and I will weld it together. And again, I'll take my Boolean assist because it wasn't just welding like that. So now I have a Merry Christmas that will cut out. I hope all of this made sense. If not, please drop a comment below and I'll do my best to make a new tutorial where I explain it a little more detailed. But I wanted to show you how to make all 6 versions of this ornament. So I did have to speed up the process a little so it doesn't take too long. But if you want me to go more in depth with one of these designs, please drop a comment below. But that's pretty much it, guys. And now to the big announcement. As some of you know, I partnered up with Laserpacker a while ago, and they actually have a really cool contest running from now and until Christmas Eve for participation, where you can show a finished project or a tutorial even, and you can win the Laserpacker LP5 accessory for it and a lot of other cool prizes. I will personally be participating with these, not because I am a participant, but because you will be able to download these for free and you can then participate with your own results. It doesn't have to be these. You can participate with anything, and the best of all is that you don't even have to be the owner of a Laserpacker. You can participate with any type of laser and any type of finished projects. But that's not all, you guys. A few months ago, I started a series of tutorials which are added to a playlist called the Laser Christmas Challenge. My intention with these tutorials was to make a contest similar to the one Laserpacker is running, and to participate in that contest you will have to either design or make some of these free files that I have on the playlist, and you can participate with a picture of your finished design or projects based off my tutorials. And since Laserpacker's contest is running for participation until Christmas Eve, I will do the same, and I'll also pick my winner after New Year on January 1st, which means that you can participate in both contests with the same project. How cool is that? I haven't released my contest just yet because I wanted to add this tutorial and these files as well, but I will have it coming up really soon. If you want to follow my contest as well as the Laserpacker contest, I advise you to subscribe to my playlist, which you'll find up here, or you could subscribe to my channel, where I'll also have some promotion content coming up as soon as I release this contest. So I hope you'll participate, and I look forward to seeing your creations. And also, if you like this tutorial, please give it a like. Please give your comments on anything else that you would like to see or learn from me. And I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!